Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. This your boy MongoSlade. Today we're going to talk about Wrestlemania Backlash, sans the zombies. The zombies are going to be in this other video that I'm going to put out there. For the first time, I'm going to actually break up a pay-per-view review into, positive and negatives. I love this show. I think this show was mostly very good. It just got weird for about 20 minutes. And it was infuriating. But other than that, this show was very good. So let's talk about the show. Let's go through it, as if you will. All right, the first match. Rhea Ripley, Asuka, and Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's title. Rhea Ripley, of course, wins. She pins Asuka, which, of course, is what I called. This match was... Well, Charlotte came out with a Cruella de Vil style gear. So I'm wondering if that was also a movie thing. This match wasn't bad. It was just predictable. There was obviously some naps being taken where, somebody take a bump and then they'd be outside the ring forever. But Rhea Ripley wins. The finish was actually not bad. Asuka was being very aggressive. She get kicked in the face by Charlotte. The kick, Charlotte kicking her kind of projected Charlotte outside the ring or off the ring apron, while Asuka is kind of selling being kicked in the face. Rhea Ripley snatches her up in the riptide and pins her. From there, Ripley is taunting Charlotte, dangling the title in her face and stuff like that. Childish as it was, it makes sense because that's really what Charlotte wants. And again, she doesn't get it, and she's pretty pissed about losing the match without losing the match. She didn't get beat. Which, of course, shouldn't have been a triple threat match from the beginning. So, Asuka loses. Again, not a big deal. Asuka has been losing a lot lately. But the thing that really kind of, pisses me off, if you want to... Nothing pisses me off more than zombies. So, and magic shit. Well, dumb shit. Dumb, hardcore shit. That pisses me off, too. None of that bothered, like bad booking decisions doesn't make any sense. Doesn't bother me though. Doesn't infuriate me. Asuka was already booked into a corner. She wasn't going to win. She was just in this match to lose. I said that in my prediction show, which you should have listened to if you're listening to this. And I just kind of accepted it, that's what was going to happen. So now the situation we are in is Charlotte still wants to chase the title. And Rhea Ripley still has the title, but they're both heels. So what are you going to do? That's the corner you've booked yourself into. Now what are you going to do? So I don't know. My guess, well, if I was booking this thing, for starters, it wouldn't have been a triple threat match, and Rhea Ripley wouldn't be a heel. So I say, look, Rhea taunting Charlotte is fine. Some people said it was childish. I believe that it was, but she's a heel, so she can get away with that. We need to move on from Rhea and Asuka. They've been fighting for 2 months now. Enough of that. So we get Dominic and Rey Mysterio becoming the first ever father and son tag team champions. I'm not sure that's true. I'm pretty sure there's probably been some father and son tag team champions somewhere else. I just can't think of them. But I am sure that I think that Fritz Von Erich won the 6-man tag team titles with his sons. I'm almost certain I saw that. I can't really think. I don't know I think the Hennings maybe did it too. Did Larry Axe and Kurt Hennig. I think they did it in AWA. I hope I'm not. I know they were a tag team, but I don't know if they were the tag team champions. It's hard to say. Anyway, this match was booked very weirdly because it was one of the old, your partner is down, you're not going to be medically cleared to perform, and yet you show up anyway. Rey Mysterio, who is 5'6", is wrestling 2 jacked guys in their prime, and they can't beat him. So that was kind of like, oof. But Rey is such a tremendous storyteller. He's such a tremendous character. And it created such sympathy for him because he is smaller than they are. So he does have to fight back from underneath. And you do get that, can Ray do it? Come on, Ray, can he really do it? There were some cool spots in this match too. One of the cool spots. I'm not gonna go into a blow by blow, but is when Rude slides Ray outside the ring right into a super kick. Like that's something that's unique that you can only do with a guy like Rey Mysterio. It's probably a Rey Mysterio idea. It's tremendous. That's tremendous stuff. I said it before. Dominic and Ray should have won the titles in front of a crowd. Dominic getting the pin was bittersweet because he got the pin with Eddie's frog splash. I just talked about super thin people doing frog splashes. His frog splash looked like it did not hurt at all. But it was a great sentiment, you know, as a throwback to the storyline with Eddie, Uncle Eddie and the frog splash, and it just has such history. And that was Dominic's introduction to the WWE, was through this storyline with Eddie Guerrero. And when he wins his first title, he uses Eddie Guerrero's finish, and in a match that features his dad. So that was great. This was great stuff. It was really feel good stuff. It really should have happened in front of a crowd, but I enjoyed it. I thought that was pretty good. Hopefully now the tag team division can open up some. I'm still pushing for Legado del Fantasma to show up at some point and to do this thing with them, because I've been talking about this for a month. We kind of need to do that. The post match was Ray saying he was on top of the world and Dominic saying it's time to celebrate. And then they started talking about how God is good and the Mysterios are blessed. It was so touching. It was excellent. After this, the show went to shit for 20 minutes. The less said about that, the better. This is going to be me being positive. So the next match was Bayley versus Bianca Belair. Now, this match was fucking awesome. This match was really good. Problem is, it followed zombies. So I was literally out of my mind for probably the first maybe 6 or 7 minutes. I was completely out of it. But they worked so hard. And everything that they were doing made sense. And it was like, it really did them a disservice, because you went from supernatural buttfuckery to, now we're back to scheduled sporting event. You know what I'm saying? Like we took a time out to do this bullshit, but now we're back to doing regular sports. This means something. It's like, come on, man. Fuck out of here. But this was good, because the story, from what I was able to follow, was that Bayley was just trying everything. She was trying a lot of her old tricks. She tried the earring pulling, she tried the hair pulling, she tried, everything, eye gouging. She tried everything. All the old heel tricks of, rolling up and grabbing the ropes. She tried it all. She tried to out wrestle Bianca Belair. It didn't work. She tried to out fight her. It didn't work. Nothing she did worked, and in the end, she got outsmarted because she was, yanking and pulling on Bianca Belair's hair. And throughout the match, Bianca just kept telling her to stop grabbing my hair. Don't grab my hair. And then she figured, hey, you're going to grab my hair. Okay, whatever. And then she rolled her up and then tied her legs together with the hair and pinned her. And you know what? Guess who is a great prognosticator? Your boy. Because what did I say that they should do? I said they should do some type of roll-up finish. If Bianca Belair beats Bayley with the KOD in the middle of the ring, we can't go any further. But if you do some type of roll-up, then you can justify another match. And that's exactly what they did. And it completed the story of that they were telling on SmackDown, where Bayley says that, Bianca Belair was seeking attention, and that, she saw herself in Bianca Belair. So what we're talking about here, she saw the hugger within Bianca Belair. But the hugger never would have done this, right? She never would have, cut this corner that Bianca Belair did. And Bianca Belair is continuing to show that despite being a babyface, she is willing to get a little dirty. She's willing to cut some corners a little bit, and Bayley had done enough cheating that we kind of was like, okay, this is Bayley was cheating through the entire match, being unfair, pulling the earrings, raking the eyes, choking, all kind of stuff. If she gets screwed over, who cares? It's Bayley. She earned it. But then after the match, Bayley was distraught. She was upset that Bianca Belair would dare cheat in a match, and she wants a rematch. She called for a rematch already. That was a good decision. I don't think she should get it immediately, but I do like that. They saved it. They spared it. They didn't give it the finish away, even though she's beaten Bayley before. They didn't give it away. So good. Thumbs up here. This was, for me, this was the match of the night at the moment. So, MVP cuts a promo basically saying that Braun Strowman makes bad business decisions and that he's not smart enough to see the big picture. We're continuing with the Braun Strowman is not smart meme. Then he starts talking about how, McIntyre is savvy enough to understand business relations and, he's got it all figured out. So then McIntyre, Lashley, and Braun Strowman then go out there and have probably one of the most badass monster truck fights I've seen in quite a while. Braun Strowman did a goddamn rolling senton off the ring apron. Then he did a senton. McIntyre did a Michinoku driver on a man the size of Braun Strowman. These dudes decided to go out there and have a crazy, crazy match. They went out there and had a crazy... Now, it's a triple threat match, was not my favorite. I hate that. And they did a thing where they had to get rid of Lashley, so they had McIntyre, dribble his head across the LED boards and throw him through a screen, and there were sparks and and all that kind of stuff going on. And then when McIntyre went looking for him, he was gone. Which means that he went to take a nap. And so the cliche finish of McIntyre just getting thrown over the top rope. Lashley hits a spear on Braun Strowman and pins him. Again, exactly what I said was going to happen. Lashley pins Strowman. McIntyre, gets thrown over the top rope. He stole one. All of that was incredibly cliche and predictable. And I don't blame anybody who wants to take notches out of this show for being predictable, because the most unpredictable thing on the show was the worst thing about it, right? So don't tell me that, the show was predictable. It's like, yeah, it had fucking zombies and nobody liked it. Nobody predicted that and nobody liked it. So I'm cool with predictability. But the match itself was fine. It was very good, as a matter of fact. I think it was probably one of the best performances Braun Strowman has put on. He hasn't not had a lot of them, but this was an impressive performance from him. Lashley is Lashley, and McIntyre is almost always good. So these guys brought it. I thought this was a worthy match. I hope, again, it's kind of sad because it's not over. We're going to be dragging the Lashley McIntyre thing even more, and we'll talk about that more at the end. But I hate this idea that I didn't lose, therefore I get to continue challenging for the title. It's like, we need to start saying, well, if you want to make it a triple threat match, nobody gets a fucking rematch, okay? I don't see the point of, well, I didn't lose. It's like, well, shit, you had an opportunity to win. You still lost. Let's move on, And this McIntyre thing, he's been in the title picture for a year straight. I don't think he's wrestled anybody in a feud that did not involve the title. I don't know. I'm talking about it in a feud. I said it in a feud. Well, he wrestled Sheamus. So, but even then, well, no, because the title match was just gifted to him before then. But that was it. With the exception of that short feud he had with Sheamus, he has wrestled almost completely for the title for a year. We need a break. We need to move on. We need to bring in some new people, So I'm not a fan of this, of what's going on here. But Lashley wins. That's a thumbs up. Strowman loses, which is expected. Maybe he can go on vacation. But we need to figure out the McIntyre problem. So throughout the show, we get various talking segments between the Usos. Jimmy Uso shows up. We get an elongated picture of Jimmy Uso's back So we're seeing his back quite a bit. He has now colored his hair, and he went to Roman's dressing room where he finds Jay sitting patiently, literally waiting for Roman, almost like a pet. He tries to talk Jay into leaving and winning the tag team titles and changing the name on the door from Roman Reigns to Roman and Jay Uso or the Usos and being the tag team champions, being in the head of the table. And then he says that you acting like a real bitch right now. Would you do his laundry too? And Jay was furious. Jay wanted to tear him, wanted to tear Jimmy limb from limb. But then Roman showed up, and Jimmy's whole thing changed. It was just like, just came to say good luck. You gonna need it. And he's antagonizing Jay and patronizing Roman. So which is very interesting that's the route that they chose to go with this. Later on, Jay, when he found Jimmy, then said to him, Roman don't need no distractions, or what are you doing? And then Jimmy continues saying that the name on the locker room should say Roman Reigns and his bitch. Which of course Jay is like, what? Who was you talking to like this? Um, okay. So then Roman is getting ready to go out for the big match, the big fight. And Jay is back there like, yeah, trying to get him all hyped. He's like, yeah, head of the table. You ready, right? And then Roman's like, ugh, what is this? Get out of here. I saw you commiserating with Jimmy. Don't you want to go hang out with Jimmy? And Jay was like, what are you talking about, man? I always got your back. And then and Roman just completely dismisses him. So before we get into the match, let's talk about that. They're leaning very heavily into the question of why doesn't Jay look. I get that Jay is all about family and Jimmy is his actual brother, but how many times are you gonna let this guy call you a bitch? Really? You know? I've got brothers. I'm a little bit older than they are. Like they are twins, so it's different. But that you probably wouldn't be able to call your brother a bitch too many times before there's some scuffles in the floor, some furniture moving, if you will. But I think that's where we're going. I think that might be the way that we're going here is that they're going to end up having the Usos fight. That ought to be interesting. So Cesaro versus Roman Reigns, phenomenal match. Cesaro, excellent character, excellent storyteller, excellent performer. The guy gets it. And Roman is, such an amazing character. And it's not even just a character now. Like he's having legitimately good matches. And this match was a match of length. Like the Roman matches are not short anymore. All of Roman's matches are at least 15 minutes. So he's going out there working the gimmick, working the character, doing moves. And he's not doing a lot though. He's not going a mile a minute doing tope suicidas, okay? But he is out there looking dominant, working a body part. He worked the arm, wrenching the arm while he's talking about, yeah, you DB's boy, ain't you? Wrenching the arm over the shoulder, which is an old school wrestling thing. Like, you can take things that are old and make them new. Like Roman put a spin on something that we've all seen in like early, throughout the 80s and the 90s, the old arm twister. And Roman put a different twist on it by just talking to the camera as he did it. Like, you Daniel Bryan's boy, you DB's boy. As he wrenched the arm. And, Cesaro, of course, has to fight from underneath. He's got to fight against it. Then as Roman got him down, he's muttering to Cesaro about his responsibilities, and he's, pushing him across the head. And, Cesaro's trying to fight through the pain to still use that arm. He's got to use that arm. So he's throwing clotheslines with the arm, and he's throwing uppercuts with the arm, but he's still selling. He's still selling it. Roman breaks out a Fujiwara armbar, which is a move I don't think I've ever seen him use before. And it shows that he's varying his game. Slowly but surely, Roman is doing different things. He's adding more moves to his repertoire. He's using new moves when necessary. He's not just doing new moves to do new moves. He's adding new moves as necessary. That's probably the most important thing that, people kind of don't pick up on in wrestling, is that, guys would do things only when they had to. Like when it takes me back to Shawn Michaels. Like, I'll never forget the Shawn Michaels Randy Orton match where the super kick was banned. So you started having Shawn do a bunch of moves he never usually do. Like he was trying to use, like, I think that's one of the first times he started using the crippler crossface. And he started doing a bunch of other moves because he couldn't use his moves, so he was using other people's moves. That makes your matches feel so unique because you're not just doing the same thing every match. But Roman is top level. He's doing something completely different. You can't, but well, let's finish the match and then I'll get into a rant about something else. The finish comes with the guillotine. Cesaro simply just can't escape. He doesn't tap out, but he gets choked out. Referee saves him. Ring the bell. Fantastic match, like I said. Really great stuff, man. Roman is really you can't say that he's being carried. This is not and that's, I want to say that too. Roman is not being carried. He's doing more than his share out there. To be quite honest, people probably wouldn't have cared this much about the match if he wasn't in it. So you can't be like, well, they're Daniel Bryan, all the Ring of Honor guys are carrying him. It's like, no, not happening at all. If anything, he's carrying those guys because most of them don't have any legitimacy outside of wrestling each other, But when you're in the ring with Roman, it feels like a bigger deal. You feel like a bigger star. But Cesaro, unfortunately, has been undercut, not just by Daniel Bryan, but also by Jimmy Uso's return and all of the family drama with the bloodline. They did a good job of making Cesaro look like an absolute warrior, that he will not give up, that this was his one big chance, his one big shot, and he came up just short, which was a great way of telling the story. He didn't flatten him, so there's always room for him to be rebuilt and to come back later. But Roman is on a different level, and it just is what it is. Now, the thing that blew my mind, another thing that blew my mind, is that Hell in a Cell was the next pay-per-view. We just had a Hell in a Cell show not too long ago, which means they're telling me that they're trying to blow off something, so they're going to move the whole pay-per-view schedule around. For starters, they're probably just doing that, just like they put Wrestlemania Backlash. It's a silly marketing gimmick because they're doing it for Peacock. It's bullshit. And it also might be that they want to have a crowd for Money in the Bank, which is, fine, whatever. I think that's a good idea. But them moving Hell in a Cell to June is ridiculous. They had everybody so excited thinking it was going to be King of the Ring or something. It's just fucking Hell in a Cell. Go to hell, WWE. Anyway, but that tells me that they're going to break out the red cage for a feud. And what feud is worthy of being put in the red cage? The only one is really Lashley and McIntyre. That's pretty much it. But you also got whatever it is they're doing with Jimmy and Jey Uso. Now, I saw some people pitch the idea of Jey Uso or Jimmy and Jey wrestling each other Hell in a Cell, and with the similar stake to the Jimmy and Roman match or the Jey Roman match, where if Jimmy loses, he's got to acknowledge the tribal chief. Maybe. I like that idea. I think you don't really need Roman in the cell though. I think Roman can draw without the cell. I think you probably give the cell to somebody else, somebody who may need it, somebody who's been in the feud for a long time. I say take it to the next level, give it to Apollo Crews and Big E. Let them have the cell. They've been feuding since January, December, January. I think that if you let Big E and Apollo Crews have the cell, it'll elevate both of them, And I know they probably never do it. I'm just going to pitch it out there just in case, it actually happens and I can say I did it. It was my idea. But I'm okay with Jimmy versus Roman. Let's do it. I don't think it needs to be in a cell though. I think you can do that outside of the cell. If you want, I would prefer Jimmy versus Jay because I think that feels a lot bigger and that has a lot of emotional weight to it. Because I don't think I don't think they've ever even fought before on WWE TV. And to put Jimmy, you got 5 weeks in between now and Hell in a Cell, so you got 5 weeks to tell the story of Jimmy Uso disrespecting Roman and Jay feeling disrespected because he's disrespecting Roman and wanting to do something about it. So that's one thing. But you also have another option, is Seth Rollins and Cesaro in the cell. So Seth Rollins attacks Cesaro after the match, kicks him, hits him with the chair. He did like this great thing where he put his arm in the chair like he was going to Pillmanize it, and he's just twisting it. And Cesaro was like, ah, and he's like twisting it, and he's, talking to him, telling him like, what did you think it was going to happen? What did you think it was going to happen? I'm Seth freaking Rollins. And he slammed his arm into the ring post. And of course, I was screaming the whole time, like, why is nobody coming out here helping him? The guy just got beat up by Jay. He got choked out by Roman. He's getting stomped by Jay. Now Seth Rollins is coming out here, hitting him with chairs, stomping on him, crushing his arm in the chairs and throwing it against the ring post. And all of the baby faces are just back there like, damn, dog, eating popcorn. Wouldn't happen to me, though. Like, come on, what the fuck? Like, oh. It's stuff like that bothers me a lot, too. Like, you had an opportunity here to really get somebody over strong by being the guy who's willing to not only stand up to Roman and Jay, but also Seth Rollins, and to get in their face and to say, y'all not doing this. Y'all not going to sit here and beat up on this guy. Instead, we're going to go with, oh, okay, everything's cool. We're doing our thing, And I think that's a huge problem with WWE is you can get heat. The moment, Seth Rollins came out there, kicked them a couple of times, that's heat. It doesn't have to be extended beyond for like 4 minutes. He doesn't need to stand tall at the end. Get a babyface to stand tall at the end. You gave a heel the win. You gave another heel the heat. And another heel get some heat. Let somebody else get over by bringing them out there to stand tall at the end and run the heels off. Could have been anybody. For God's sake, people are really trying to get behind Cesaro. You could have sent fucking Drew Gulak out there at that point, and people would have been like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. But the idea that, all of the babyfaces just refuse to do anything as these heels just jump this guy is ridiculous. But other than that, it was a fabulous match, and it was a pretty good show with the exception of Mazombies. This was legit one of the better in-ring performed shows in a long time. And I got to give them credit. Bianca Belair and Bayley was really good. The WWE title match was really good. Roman Reigns and Cesaro was next level. The story of the Mysterios was very good too. So 3 out of the 5 matches delivered. Straight up delivered. The fourth, the Mysterios, it was okay. It was very good, but it wasn't like upper echelon like the other 3. And I do think I'm probably one of the only people that's really putting Bayley and Bianca Belair up there on that level. But it was a very good match when you look at the story they're telling. Of Bayley trying to do everything. It was a classic heel and babyface story. But of course that main event was, it was tremendous. It's a tremendous main event from tremendous talents. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video. Throw some ducats on Subscribestar or on Cash App if that would make you feel comfortable. Thank you guys for your time. And I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace out.